Guess what, everybody?
What?
Guess what? You're muted. Oh, you did it. I was hoping we'd have several shows in a row where Rant's ever so technically sound. He's so technically sound. Muted every time. Hey, I'm Terry
Rizzuto, and I'm unmuted.
Hey, nice to see everybody. Happy Thursday. This continues our Thursday series of improvisational, sketch, experimental podcast, storytelling shows. That's what we're doing during this crazy time during COVID-19, shelter in place. We've been bringing the funny, the vulnerable, the sweet, the theatrical, the art that makes you feel surrounded in your own home straight to your doorstep, right inside your computer, invading your house. That's what we're doing.
It's a home invasion.
That's what it is. And tonight is no different. We're doing a little Word live literature and true tales tonight. Rance, tell them about Word.
Word is a very loving thing that we've got going on at the Nest. It's been going for a while. It's written stories by people based on a theme. Now this month it's pretty easy to tell. It's got to be something spooky. They said they wanted something spooky, so we gave it to them. And these stories are 5 to 6 minutes long. They're written by the authors. They might be funny. They might be heartwarming. They might be scary. They might be sad. They might be whatever the writer was inspired to write about for this thing. We do a lot of comedy at the Nest Theater with our improv. We do a lot of improv at the Nest Theater with our comedy. And this is a thing that is much more open to interpretation. So please give your love and support to these artists. You can do so with chats, cheers, likes, follows, whatever, thumbs, hearts, all those things on whatever you're viewing this on. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch. Twitch is the best place to write this. That's where we get chats the bestest, and that's where we broadcast the most with shows and fun other stuff. So if you're there, awesome. If you're not, think about getting over there for the next time you watch something on the net.
Just think about it. Think about it. Think about it tonight, okay? Make us a promise. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Grant and I are the co-founders of the Nest Theater here in CBus, Ohio. We usually have 25 regular rotating main stage shows of sketch, improv, comedy, all kinds of stuff like that, and a training center that's actually sold out 31 sold out sessions in a row since 2016. Holy hell, we can't believe it either. And guess what? There's a big wrench in the plans, which is COVID. No thanks.
Whoops.
We've been doing a lot of virtual stuff, just like what you're watching tonight. If you want to know more about the Nest Theater, go to nesttheater.com. We'll talk more in the middle quickly about it, just to let you know what's coming up this weekend, so that you can have some fun things to do through the Halloween weekend if you'd like, and what's coming up in November and December. But we got a show to do tonight, which is, I'm going to take a breath here. Okay. It's going to be
get your breath. Get your breath.
Word is a favorite of mine because, like Grant said, we get to listen to people kind of just share their storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all true stories tonight, Rance. So they may be, like you said, spooky. Or they're probably going to be spooky. Cool. And they may be just inspired by the word ghost. We don't know yet. We haven't heard the stories yet either. Just like Grant said, if you could give them likes and love and applause in the comments, and or just like with your words or with your emojis or whatever you got, so they can see it whenever they decide to stream it back. Yeah. That would be fantastic. Yeah. We're so excited to hear their stories. Yeah, Rance?
Yeah, this is also like we said, like some of these just might be very heartfelt, and typically in a non-COVID setting, we'd be doing snaps. So whatever the equivalent of that online is, do your best with it. But otherwise, these are true stories from these people's minds and hearts and lives. And I can't wait to get to them, Tara. Shall we?
Yeah, we have 5 features tonight. Well, we had 5 features. Our friend Maya Haughton from Chicago, Illinois had a quick emergency, so we have 4 features for you. But we have people from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have people from CBus. We have a person from Los Angeles, California. No, wait, now in New York. So we'll come back to that. New Jersey? I don't know. You tell me, Liz, when you get here. But lots of great people here to share their stories, starting with one of Columbus's own, Jen Morrison. Rance, are you ready to bring her to the floor?
Yeah, I'm ready to bring her to the floor. Everyone, welcome to the floor. Applaud from home with your own hands and follows and likes and stuff for Jen Morrison.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen. We miss you. Jen, I'm going to give you the floor here in a moment. Feel free to make yourself at home, share your story when you're ready, and we're rooting for you. Thanks for sharing.
All right. You know, this story might not seem that spooky to some people. This story It's not that crazy. But for me, it never fails to give me goosebumps. It started, oddly enough, with a TV show, The Impractical Jokers. I love the show and have become friends with lots of other fans all around the world. One day, one of the fans mentioned that she was going to Lilydale for the first time. If you're not familiar, Lilydale is this awesome little hamlet in southwestern New York, full of mediums and other spiritualist type people. I told her that my sister loved Lilydale, and we had planned to go together before she got sick and passed away. She asked if she could send me some things from there to make me feel better. What a sweet gesture, I thought, since really we only knew each other from the fan group. A couple of days later, I DM'd her to ask how the trip went. She laughingly said her mom told her to wash her windows. Then she added, you never told me your sister's name. Ida, I said. OMG, she typed. I have to show you something. It turns out the medium had taken notes while she was doing the reading, and Dawn DM'd me a picture of it. There on the paper was written the name Ida. I couldn't believe it. I got the craziest goosebumps I have ever gotten in my whole life. Even though Dawn swore through her whole reading that she didn't know anyone named Ida, the medium kept insisting that there was definitely an Ida there, and she was strong and she was insistent. Once I told my family, my nieces, my sister, and I were on our way to Lilydale. I've always been fairly skeptical about this spiritualist stuff, but I was willing to give it a try, and I used the same medium my friend had. The first thing she told me was that both of my parents were there, and they were singing, "You Are My Sunshine." What a fabulous feeling right off the bat. I had a close relationship with my parents, and to think that that was how they thought of me just was the most amazing feeling. Then she asked which of my parents smoked. Well, my mom, I answered. She told me my mom was still smoking and still drinking coffee and had no intention of ever quitting. It sounded exactly like something my mom would have said. Then she asked if I had wind chimes. I thought that was a weird question. Your dad keeps saying he likes your chimes. It took me a minute, but I made the connection. A few years ago, I was in a support group which suggested that we stop throughout the day to say a prayer, but I could never remember to do it. So I set alarms on my phone. You guessed it, with the chime sound. No one knew about that except for a few people in my support group. Now I was beginning to believe a little more. Wind chimes are not what mediums usually ask about. The next thing was kind of the clincher for me, though. She said my dad kept asking about a ring. I froze. He said it's going to be okay. I burst out crying. After my mom passed, and my dad had passed several years earlier, my siblings graciously decided I could have my mom's wedding and engagement rings. It was a special, heartwarming moment for me. Unfortunately, I lost the engagement ring during my last move. I was so upset and so mad at myself that I never told anyone, especially not my siblings. But hearing Daddy's words was like a hug. I could almost hear him saying, "It's going to be okay." Then she asked if I had pets. And she said, "Oh, you do?" I said, "Yes." "Cats or dogs?" "Cats." "Oh, I see that you have 5." "No, I only have 2." "That's what you think. You may think you only have 2, but there are really 5 there. 3 of your cats loved you so much that they decided to stay with you and not move on. Wow. It seems I have 3 ghost kitties roaming around my house. Keep that in mind if you're ever invited over. The odd thing about the weekend is that Ida barely showed up. She didn't visit me or either of her daughters. She made an appearance during my sister's reading, only to let us know that she was still pissed about being dead and she was not moving on. Luckily, my deceased brother decided to stay with her until she could accept it. She didn't have any words of wisdom or special messages for any of us. So I was wondering, why was she so persistent during Dawn's reading? I think maybe she just wanted us all to be together. The sister I was traveling with and I have had a difficult relationship sometimes, and Ida was often the buffer. Maybe she wanted to broker peace one last time. As an added benefit, I was able to meet my Twitter friend Dawn. We got to spend a few hours together and get to know each other in a way you just can't do on Twitter. It was wonderful, and she and I have stayed friends. The weekend may not have turned out as we expected, but I know we will always remember it. And I believe Ida accomplished her mission after all.
Thank you, Jen. Oh my gosh. Okay. We started strong.
Good start. Yeah. Ghost cats.
Ghost cats. And all from, first off, I saw the rants that you love the Impractical Jokers. So that was also a strong start of Jen's story, huh?
Yes, I'm a big fan of the Impractical Jokers and their craft.
Oh, their craft. Jen, you are a talent, and that is a dream. You had a lot of comments coming in during your story of just absolute fear through your storytelling. So congratulations. Yes, from Impractical Jokers to Ghost Cats.
Yes.
We learned a lot. A lot.
Oh, ooh, this is a good start. Good start.
I think so too. Hey, our next feature up is someone that's joining us from Minneapolis, Minnesota tonight, Rance. Are you ready for another story?
I am. Hey, everyone. Let's welcome out to the screen, Andy Christian.
Hey, hi, Andy.
Hi.
When you're ready,
All right.
Go for it.
I recall an experience from when I was 5.5 years old in the fall of 1976. My younger brother Aaron and I were building Lincoln log houses on the living room floor after I had come home from my morning half day of kindergarten. I distinctly remember to this day my dad coming home like he always did, kind of a family ritual in a way. The smell of spices and neatly chopped veggies stewing with lentils and sausage permeated the air, and my tummy grumbled and mouth watered in anticipation. My cat Ebenezer perked his head lazily from the living room floor next to the small cabin I'd carefully stacked. I screeched, "Ebby!" as he leapt up, scattered my deftly built home, and sauntered towards the back door. I angrily restarted my Lincoln log house, and then I saw my dad open the back door and walk up the back staircase into the kitchen. Aaron and I stood between my mother and father, and we all shared a family hug, and they kissed 3 times. They always kissed 3 times. I remembered something from weeks earlier as they kissed. See, I had asked my mom to kiss me 3 times like Dad as she tucked me in for bed, and she said, "No, that's for your dad and I." I didn't understand it at the time, but I accepted it like most small children do. I also recalled that a few nights after that, Aaron also asked for 3 kisses, and I repeated what my mom had said. "No, that's for Mom and Dad." All this ran through my mind as my dad said, "I'm going to go upstairs and change." He worked as a factory foreman, and his clothes were often oily or greasy, and he wanted to be in a clean clothes for the rest of the evening. He always wore a button-up shirt, even if during casual family time. Again, all of this ran through my young mind in those few seconds between the family hello hug and my dad retreating upstairs to change. I also remember as I scowled while fixing my scattered Lincoln logs, soon after Ebby had rounded the corner toward the back hallway, I heard Dad walk up the back staircase and kiss my mother hello 3 times. My dad leaned around the corner of the hallway between the back staircase and the kitchen and peered into the living room, waving at me and my brother. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Dad. We waved back without really looking up. And I said, want to see my house? In a minute, Andrew. About an hour later. In reality, it could have been any amount of time because I was 5.5 and singularly focused on building with my toys. The timing, though, didn't really matter to me. I was playing with my toys and he had arrived home. But sometime later, what seemed too long to me, I asked, Mom, where's Dad? He'd been upstairs changing for a long time, much longer than he ever had before that I could recall. Usually in just a short while, maybe a few minutes, he'd reappear back downstairs, kiss my mom, yep, you guessed it, 3 times. Again, and then let me show him my new construction. Andrew, your dad doesn't get home for another hour, she said. I was very confused. I mean, we had a family hello hug. My cat knocked over my house, and Dad leaned around the corner and waved hi at me. He said he was going to go change clothes. I started to get up to go check on him. He'd been upstairs for a very long time. Honey, he'll be home soon, and then we'll eat dinner. But, Mom, she could see my confusion. What is it? Mom, Dad came home and Ebby knocked over my house and he hugged and you kissed your mommy and Daddy kissed and he leaned around the corner and waved hello to me and then he said he was going to go change. Seared into my little brain of about 5.5 years old, a memory that is as vivid and distinct as if it happened just moments ago. My mother turned ashen gray. She tremulously said, as if speaking to herself, I was just daydreaming that. To this day, at nearly 50, I don't know what parts of that vivid and distinct memory actually happened or were in my mother's mind. Yes, I know there is a plot hole above. How could my father simultaneously be in a hallway not visible from the living room, peering around to wave hello at me and Aaron, and be hugging us all in a family hello hug in the back hallway? What's real? What's daydream but not my own? Did Ebby actually knock over my house? Or is that just a silly momentary bit of my mother's consciousness imposing a new reality into my memory? Her daydream?
What the hell? Is that a good way to come on and congratulate me? Oh, Andy, that is so trippy. That is so trippy. Can you imagine?
Here's the weird thing. Andy was, to me, just sitting on screen, not moving at all the whole time or talking, but I feel like I took in this whole story. But, ooh.
You nervous? Are you nervous? Rance, are you nervous? Oh, this is way spookier. We should do this the rest of the show.
Okay, hold on. I'll get there better.
Let's get to a place where, there we go. That's it. That's the stuff. Oh, here. This feels good. Look, Andy, I don't know if you experienced a time hiccup like Jamie suggested in the comments.
Yes.
Or if this is a parallel universe thing, or if you're trapped inside someone else's simulation, but congratulations on a very trippy Halloween story. Hey, Cassie. Yeah, we just said the same thing. How weird is that?
Yeah.
Guess what, Rance? We have another feature.
Another feature.
This feature is from the East Coast. How's that? This
That's
picture is
perfect.
an old friend from Chicago, Illinois, who was in Los Angeles, California, and maybe in New Jersey or New York right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring to the stage Liz Glazer.
Hi.
Great to see you. Have a great one.
You too. Oh, thanks. Hi, guys. Question. Does it count as viral if a ghost has viewed your video? Does your answer change if that ghost is a celebrity? In 2013, I made a video offering Joan Rivers a ride to one of her shows. In the introduction to that video, which I posted on YouTube, I said, while sitting on the hood of my car in my parents' driveway, that she might remember me. I'm confident she didn't, though we had technically met a few weeks before then at a show of hers in Reno. I had at that time just started doing stand-up, and I felt like I needed a mentor. I was very committed and passionate about stand-up, but I wasn't very good. I was still teaching law at that time, and I would say I had the energy of a law professor doing stand-up. So a lot of notes flying on stage, a lot of umming and ahhing and yang and okay, so, and I think I got laughed mostly for being very bad. And by the way, it is the typical route to stand up. You know, generally speaking, you go to law school for 3 years, practice for 2, teach for 9, get tenure, give it all up and do stand-up comedy on Zoom, shouting in front of your computer in the hallway of your apartment. Hi. I approached my prospective mentorship with Joan Rivers academically, because I was an academic. I saw her live. I learned about her family, her daughter, Melissa, her late husband, Edgar, who I learned was apparently very meticulous in all matters, including the management of Joan Rivers' career, and that he used to drive Rivers to her early Catskill gigs in the 60s. And lastly, when I met Rivers in Reno, I handed her a note with my phone number on it when she exited her limo in front of the hotel where she was performing. It should be noted that Edgar, her husband, had died. He unfortunately killed himself in 1987. So I made and uploaded this video to YouTube, and the video was basically a legal brief in support of me driving Joan Rivers to her next show in New Jersey. And I asked my parents in the video to weigh in on my driving. And my dad in the video, he's like, when Elizabeth drives, we know we will get to the destination. You feel secure. And then my mom in the video chimes in, you do know that she's a law school professor. So anyway, I had that in the video, but I wanted her to think I was fun. So in the video, I also demonstrated my ability to sing in the car. So I'm singing like, tonight we're gonna make it happen. And like some Celine and whatever. I also demonstrated my excellent listening skills, where basically I had a videographer in the car with me and I'm just like pretending to listen and respond. It was a very cringe-worthy video. And I even in the video drove to the theater so that I could show her that I could get there. So basically there's a shot of me in front of the theater awkwardly saying, we're here. Okay. So in the video, I invited her to get a hold of me. I gave her my phone number. I reminded her that I had already given her my phone number when she got out of the limo in Reno. I didn't hear from her. Then, sadly, she died. So I assumed that I would never hear from her. And actually, the same week that she died, I also lost my car. And I made a video about that. That video is me in an alley near my apartment, leaning against a parked van that's not mine, very dejectedly saying to camera that I really just don't know where my car is. And it was like a much darker video than the first one, where I was literally singing I'm Walking on Sunshine, among other hits. So I said in that second video that I just wanted to give up and cry, and I felt really hopeless, but I was still trying to be grateful. But then I say in that video that despite my gratitude, I couldn't even have internet to post a gratitude list. Anyway, so that all of those problems in that video, I also actually couldn't locate my car. That part was true for an entire week. I resigned myself to the fact that my car was stolen. The police said that. So I was surprised when the following Sunday morning, this cop from the local precinct calls me and he's like, hey, are you Liz? I said, yeah. He's like, I was having a slow morning, so I decided to drive around the neighborhood and I think I found your car. He asks where I am. I tell him. He says, oh, I'm across the street. A place that I definitely looked when I was looking everywhere for my car for an entire week. I go to meet him. It's my car. He asked me to inspect it. Everything's fine except for the fact that the remote no longer opens the passenger side of the car. Not a big deal, but I was aware from the movie Ghostbusters 2, a movie that terrified me as a child, that ghosts do communicate through electricity. Because there was the painting guy who electrocutes the guy from Ally McBeal and causes him to fall off the ladder. I couldn't sleep for a year after that. Anyway, I was also aware of the movie Ghost, where Patrick Swayze as Sam Wheat, who had recently died and was able to run post-death errands through Whoopi Goldberg, a medium. So anyway, I finish inspecting the car. I thank the officer for finding it. And I'm about to cross the street back to my apartment when he stops me and he's like, by the way, I'm Edgar. I looked at him and smiled, knowing that Joan Rivers had understood that, of course, my offer to drive her to her show in 2013 meant that her ghost could borrow my car in 2014. And I also realized that she had watched my video. Thanks so much.
What the heck?
Happened.
Tara, come back to us with your voice, Tara. Ooh, Tara, I summon thee.
Oh,
there.
The ghost took my voice for a moment. Oh. Can you hear it?
Tara, I am your voice. Ooh. That was a doozy, I'd say.
Yeah, that was a real doozy. I mean, see, Jamie's scared. People are scared.
Yeah.
It all ended up. Wow. You're a talent. She's a joy. I'm so glad she could join us. Do we look spookier, everyone at home? Is this like way better for Halloween?
Yeah, I like mine, whether they like it at home or not. This is my new look from now on.
This may be the way we do all improv shows from here.
Tara, I might have to play a spooky game later tonight and play it like this because I feel themed.
Do I look scarier this way?
Yeah. If you had pale makeup on, you'd be like, that's like Ring, the Ring.
Oh, I see. Oh, could have happened. You know what? It's time to talk about the nest a little bit. We have one more feature tonight telling a spooky story for Halloween.
Yeah.
Before that, we'll briefly tell you about the nest. The nest is in Columbus, Ohio. You know that if you're watching us from anywhere outside of there, like Minneapolis, for example, or New York or New Jersey or LA or Chicago, thank you for joining us tonight and watching this lovely show. This show usually happens about once a month in the physical space when we're doing regular shows. So please come see it when we hopefully get to be back together in 2021. Yeah. But until then, we're doing virtual shows, 25 randomly rotating virtual shows that happen throughout November, December, etc., to keep people inspired and all of that. Hey, tonight, if you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, I'll tell you what we would love. We'd love a tip. How about that? The Nest Theater is a brick and mortar space in Central Ohio, and it, believe it or not, has no COVID-19 relief. So we're still paying rent through this time, but we haven't been allowed to open since March of 2020.
Okay.
So you can imagine that's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that we are just basically paying into a space, hoping for the time that we can all meet up again. So if you can throw $1 or $2 to the Nest Theater tip jar tonight, not only will you be supporting the Brick and Mortar Relief Fund for Nest Theater, but you'll also be supporting the artist you're watching tonight. They're splitting part of the percentage of Word, Live Literature, and True Tale. So that's cool. So if you go to nesttheater.com/donate, right down there on the ticker, or Venmo at the Nest Theater, both those will be collected after tonight's show, and we'll be splitting the proceeds between the Brick and Mortar Relief and the lovely people you're watching on this show. Rance, any other things to talk about with the Nest Theater stuff?
Yeah, if you're on Twitch right now, you can also just do bits or donations there that we'll get through as well. Hey, if you're like, I'd love to help you out, but all my wallet's gone. You can help us out by spreading the word about shows that we have every time they come up, sharing them on what have you. And if you haven't followed or subscribed on Twitch or YouTube, please do. Please go there. Every little bit helps out. And if you're already there, then awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for following and subscribing.
We just love you so much. We might do something. I feel like we should always do spooky things like this. Sometimes we do tarot readings. Sometimes we do scary games on Twitch, things like that. So you can join us for all sorts of things outside of improvisational and sketch comedy shows, which will be running through the winter months.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sarah, I think it's time for our final story of the eve.
I'm real excited to hear it. Hey, this person is a Nest theater performer herself. And she also has a fun YouTube channel she'll be promoting in the comments if you want to check it out. They're doing a Halloween special. Maybe something to check out after you're done here tonight. Rance, throw it on over.
Hey everyone, make some virtual noise for Cady.
Hi Cady. Welcome. Thank you for your well-lit room.
Hello everyone. All right, well, let's get into it. So my ghost story starts in the year 2013, same as Liz, really haunted year, and it's at Ohio University. I just transferred them there, and I was like a real yes man phase of my life. I didn't have a lot of friends yet, so I was really down to do anything, and I met a new group of people in a search for like future roommates, and they were like, hey, you seem like you'd be down for anything. Would you like to do a Ouija board at the Ridges, which is an old insane asylum? And I said, yeah, I would. So here's the Ridges. Little backstory about this place. It's super haunted. This building still stands. It's a nice big campus. It was a mental hospital that ran from 1874 to 1993. It's super cool, super spooky. And that's where we do this Ouija board. So Ouija board night. There are my two new friends, Ron and Bellamy, and then a couple of random people that I don't really know. And they show up, and the Ouija board that we're using is a homemade poster, like Ouija board on a poster board, and a shot glass. And we're, doing normal Ouija board stuff. We're asking questions. The Ouija board's responding. It's telling us their name. And we got some responses of like this spirit that was super, super old and was just still hanging out. And then they said like, hey, you're in danger. And as soon as they finished saying that, a car pulled up where we were sitting, and people in suits got out. And they were holding like these flashlights and these tools, and they were all matching. I don't know. It was very weird. I was very spooked out and said, peace out. I'm leaving. So Ron and Bellamy, my new friends, said, okay, cool. We went to Wendy's, and other people stayed there and just hung out, I guess. Following day, I'm recalling all the weirdo stuff that happened with the Ouija board to my roommate, who I really didn't know. I met her on Craigslist. This was probably one of our first interactions, truly. And she was super freaked out by it. She was like, why would you do this? Like, the Ridges is haunted as fuck. Like, why would you do that there? And I was like, I didn't know. She got out her Bible and just sat on the floor the whole day reading her Bible. And when I finished talking to her, I heard a really loud noise in my room. And I went in there, and it was just my purse on the floor. And I was like, okay, whatever. I grab it, and I go out for some groceries. Come home, and my screen door to my apartment slams shut really, really hard. Like, doesn't make sense how hard it is. But I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, it's kind of like the wind. So whatever, go on with my day. Go to leave again, and the screen door, a flimsy kind of metal screen door, is completely stuck. And I get my roommate, and I'm like, hey, this is like really shut. Like, I cannot get it open. And she's pushing, and we can't get it. So we have to call the fire department. And they come and they're like, oh, we can't open this from our side either. Let's go get some tools. And then the door just opens. And I'm like, all right, I may be haunted. Regardless, go on with my life. That night, I go to a hockey game with a couple of those original friends, Ron and Bellamy, and some others who weren't there that night. And I said, hey, I've had a really freaking weird day. Are you guys having that? Is this happening to anybody else? And they're like, no, it's not happening to any of us. And then I opened my purse, and the shot glass we had used was in there. And my friend, Julie, we'll call her, she immediately grabs it out of there and she's like, here it is. This is why you're haunted. I'm like, oh, shoot, what do we do with this? Like, how do we get rid of it? So I Google that, and she just takes it outside and smashes it on the ground, which Google said, like, you definitely shouldn't do that. So a week later, her arm broke, which I don't know if that's just a coincidence. It totally could be. So, take that detail for what you will. But from there on out, just some little weird things happened here and there, things moving, nothing super of note. Until one day that me and Julie, the girl who threw the shot glass, we went to Taco John's. This Taco John's. We went there to get some tots and cheese for hangovers. And we were in line, like, kind of just making a joke, like, LOL, this thing happened probably because we're haunted or whatever. And the worker taking our order when we got up to her said, great, you want tots and cheese? Wonderful. Yeah, you guys are, in fact, haunted. And the ghost is waiting for you to forget to come back. And then there was a wait on tots and cheese, so she had us sit at a table and wait for those. And then when she brought the tots out, she said, I know how you can get rid of that ghost. I've been haunted many times myself. You just have to sage your house, like, and then it'll be good. But yeah, that ghost is just waiting for you to forget about it, and then it's coming back full force. So yeah, we didn't sage our house at all, and Julie and I ended up moving in together. So this takes us to the next year. Julie and I move into this house together. We're on the second floor. We have another roommate on the bottom floor. And that's kind of when some more notable creepy stuff starts happening again. Like, we had a really weird dirt basement that we were all freaked out by and we blocked off. And one day we came home from class and noticed all the lights were on, shining through the floorboards. So Julie went down there and she turned all the lights off. And then the next day it happened again. And so she went down there and she unscrewed all the light bulbs. And then it happened again. So whatever. And then things with our lights kind of died down. And it started going to, like, our smoke detectors upstairs. So Julie and I would come downstairs and the smoke detectors would go off. Then we'd go upstairs and they would turn off. And then if one of us was up, the other person's one would go off, until the point where Julie was like, all right, I have to call the fire department and be like, fire department, we are haunted. I can't get these to work. And they're like, we can't help you with that. But yeah, I mean, after that, nothing super weird happened anymore. Julie and I both kind of went our separate ways. We're not really friends anymore. We've had some weird personal hell stuff in our life, but I think the ghost is just waiting for us to forget about it and then come back. So that's it.
Well, that's terrifying.
What?
Julie, never born.
Oh my goodness. Listen, Cady,
Cady, I have a ton to ask. Number one, why did you go to Taco John's?
Yeah.
Additionally, I don't think Julie ever existed.
If a waiter at Taco John's says, just like out of the blue, like, oh, by the way, the the ghost is waiting to come, waiting for you to forget. All you got to do is sage. The next step shouldn't be, so yeah, we never saged.
Yeah.
So anyway.
We kind of skipped it. We skipped it. It's no big whoop. Eric thinks you were haunted by the tots.
Oh, spooky tots.
Who can say? Who can say?
Man.
Man, I'll tell you what. Anyone that hasn't been to Athens, treat yourself. It's so fucking haunted. It's so.
Tara is always talking about that place. What is it? Ridge?
The Ridges. It doesn't even exist the same way now. I mean, I think it's now been turned into places that are like classrooms and stuff. But it was just an abandoned, shut down, up on a hill, like super scary looking to begin with. And then you'd go there and people would like break in like Cady did and do seances and stuff. And Halloween's a big deal in Athens, Ohio.
Well,
Big deal.
Hey, Tara, Cady has a YouTube channel, and it looks like Fawcett Mattis. There we go. Channel Broadcasting, or Chan11 Broadcasting, and her and her SO Matt do some stuff there, and they have a
Halloween special.
Chan Hell Broadcasting, something.
Chan Hell. So if you want to go check that out tonight, check in the comments for a link and go see that after you're done here. Again, major thank you to everyone watching. All these Nest shows have been such a wonderful part of our weeks. So next week, I believe we have a comedy sports show, which is a family-friendly, not scary show.
Whoa.
And we have all kinds of stuff. I think we have a couple other things coming up in the month, like long form nights and game shows, all that stuff around. Another word, storytelling about thankfulness and gratefulness in November. So I'll be happy to see that show. It won't be near as spooky. Remember, again, too, if you like the shows tonight, feel free to throw a buck or two at the old tip jar for our features and for Nest Theater. Again, we'll always try to be here for you on Thursday or Friday nights so that you have some fun inside your houses while we're all kind of waiting to get back together again. And if you're looking for something fun to do and you're looking for improvisational classes, we're starting a new round of improv fundamentals in the new year virtually for anyone watching anywhere, and possibly something we might be able to do in the physical space in 2021. We'll see how that works out, but we definitely have virtual classes until we get the go ahead where we can keep both our ensembles and our patrons super duper safe. So we have lots of class programming coming up here in the next couple months. So please look at nettheater.com for that info.
And if you enjoyed this spookiness and you're looking for more, we've got just a couple slots left of the message. It's a one-on-one experience. You get you buy a ticket for just yourself and you go nowhere. You get a phone call and the experience is all over the phone, just between you and another person. So get on that. There are just a few spots left.
It's so fun. We actually sold out Wednesday and Thursday. We now have 2 spots open tomorrow that were not open. So there's an 8 o'clock, 2 spots opened at that 8 o'clock showtime. And Saturday, I believe we have 2 showtimes left that you can choose from. So if you're looking for something spooky that's kind of like almost like the energy of a clue chase, or kind of a narrative storytelling meets clue chase sort of energy, like a choose your own adventure, this is the thing for you. Immersive theater is brand new. The Nest Theater is one of only, I think, 2 or 3 theaters trying it nationwide. So jump in and get a ticket to the message. It's so fun. We just had a rave review in 614 magazine this week on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe. So they're really excited about us kind of pushing this new kind of theater through the months we can't be together. So join us for the message. It's a ball. We had a ball tonight. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Again, give us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever is available wherever you are. If you haven't gone to Twitch yet, head over there, follow us there for other things besides shows that we might be doing through the Nest.
Woo! Thank you for all our features again tonight. Jen, Andy, Liz, and Cady, and in theory, Maya, our friend from Chicago. Hope you're well. But thank you to everyone that presented for tonight and last night in our features for Word, live literature and true tales, spooky stories, Halloween style. Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Woo!